All right, I have loads of alpha to share with you in terms of farming crypto airdrops and also a little bit of yield farming in this video. So let's hop right in. Now, the first thing I wanted to mention is this dogs token claim from Telegram. This is a Telegram native meme coin. You may qualify depending on how much you use Telegram. There's going to be a link to check your allocation, which I'll throw down below. Now, in order to actually claim this token, you will need to have a ton wallet in Telegram. So that is the first step. There's some basic tokenomics, and the claiming for this is going to be going live soon. So I'll drop links to all this stuff down below. If you are a Telegram user, you may qualify for this claim. Next up, of course, we had the launch of the DBR or the D-Bridge token eligibility checker. So you can go now, check your eligibility. If you are claiming from an Ethereum wallet, then you will need to actually link a Solana wallet to it in order to get your token, because the token is launching on the Jupiter LFG Launchpad, which is of course a Solana token launcher. Now, the team has not released the actual date yet. It's supposed to be mid-August, which means theoretically it could be any day now. At this point, I'm thinking it's probably not going to be over the weekend, so hopefully it will be next week. Now, the tokenomics are listed here, and there's also an important update in terms of the claiming process. So basically, you're gonna have a decision to make if you came in the top 10% of users, which realistically was not hard to do. So you are gonna have to choose either to claim 50% on the actual launch day and then get 50% after 6 months of vesting, or you can claim 80% on the launch day and forfeit the rest with a 20% penalty. Now, if you opt for option 1, you will actually get a portion of the 20% that was forfeited by people that opted for option 2. But then you're playing this game of, do you think that the price of this token is going to drop by more than 20% on launch day over the next 6 months? Because if not, probably makes more sense still to claim option 2. However, if you're bullish on the DBR token long-term, then maybe option 1 is the better option. If you're asking me what I'm personally doing, honestly, I'm a bit skeptical that the token price is gonna hold up. These days, pretty much everything that launches drops at least 20%, if not significantly more. And then the other part of this equation is that this is a bit of game theory. It's kind of like a prisoner's dilemma. And I'm seeing all over the timeline, everyone is basically saying they're gonna claim and dump, which makes it almost more important that you claim and dump, because they're basically creating this self-reinforcing feedback loop where it's almost certainly going to dump. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe option 1 will be the best. We will only know one way or the other after waiting 6 months. Okay, let's talk about Grass. They have finally confirmed the airdrop. It is now coming. There's going to be a snapshot soon, and Epoch 7 was the final epoch of the closed beta. So according to this lengthy post here, a snapshot is being taken, and we don't know exactly what the date is going to be, but apparently there's going to be weighted points by epoch. So probably the earlier that you got in, the more points that you've got. If you were in epoch 0, you'll have a higher weight than somebody that just joined, for example, in the last month or 2. There's also going to be a separate eligibility for holders of the Grass NFT Gigabuds. So they say here, your time is coming. I'm assuming this means there is going to be a separate allocation for that NFT. Now, the final thing to mention here is that between now and when they actually announce the snapshot, they're in a limited time bonus epoch for people that download the new desktop node. Now, I haven't actually done enough research on this to know whether or not A, this is something that I would want to install on my computer, and B, whether or not it's actually going to be worth the effort. But that is up to you. Do your own research, of course, with this. If you want to participate, I'm sure you can figure it out. Anyways, yeah, they are going to drop the token soon. This is great for people that have been farming this for a long time. I do still have a pending Grass giveaway, so I will be still giving away a pretty sizable chunk of my Grass token airdrop to people that are holding the NFT that I launched a few months back. And I am happy that this is finally here. Okay, another token claim that is coming soon is Orderly Network. So if you have been trading on perp dexes that integrate with Orderly, you'll be able to claim your order tokens on August 26th. They've got a blog post here with the tokenomics. Now, the one thing to note is that they are sharing fees in USDC to holders and stakers of the order token. Now, this makes it a little bit more bullish to hold the token and not to sell it immediately. However, it honestly depends on how many people continue trading using Orderly Network post TGE, because if, let's say, 95% of their users will just farm the airdrop and move on afterwards, this 60% of net fees might not work out to be that much. However, if Orderly Network actually does continue to generate a sizable amount of fees, it is possible that holding the token would actually be worth it. Next up, if you were farming Renzo Season 2, the claim is currently live. So go to the Renzo page, click claim here, and then connect your wallet. So if you qualified for Season 2, you can now claim your REZ token. There was a little bit of drama with Renzo because they had falsely flagged some wallets as Sybil for the Season 2 campaign. However, as far as I know, they managed to correct the problem. I had a call with the CEO, and I do believe that they've actually allocated the correct amount to people that farmed this. So congratulations if you got the airdrop. Now, moving forward, they are actually going to be launching on Solana, a liquid stake token, which will compete with the other LRTs on Solana, of which there's not actually that many. Now, it's not currently live. However, you can go and sign up, connect your Solana wallet on the Renzo page, and they will be offering limited access to the first 10K wallets. So at this point, I would say it doesn't hurt to sign up and see what happens. Moving on now, let's talk about Swell. So the airdrop for the pearls is going to be coming through soon, and they're moving into a new phase where they're incentivizing two different things. One is the ecosystem points for depositing in the Swell L2. So now if you visit the Swell dashboard, click on the Layer 2 tab, you can see how many ecosystem points you've earned. With this wallet here, I've deposited, I think, 0.75 ETH, and that's how many points I've earned since having that in here. The other way that you can earn Swell tokens moving forward beyond Season 1 of the airdrop is to earn black pearls in Swell City. So these pearls are earned for holding SWETH or RSWETH, using it in DeFi, and you can track your progress to that here as well. Now, the way that these black pearl drops are working, and I believe I mentioned this in one previous video, is that the first drop is 2% of the Swell token supply, so a pretty sizable amount, but then it progressively gets smaller. You earn more black pearls based on how long you've been deposited, and I think participating at least in the first wave makes sense given the amount of the supply that they're allocating. But beyond that, I'm not too sure. All right, moving on, let's talk about Krypto. So they are not launching their token, but they have launched a new platform where you can basically get access to a variety of other different airdrops. It's kind of like a restaking airdrop ETF, but not just restaking, it also gives points for Linea and also Scroll. The way that it works basically is you deposit one of the assets that are available. Currently, there's just 3 options here. And if you make a deposit into this new airdrop gain vault, then you earn points for all of the different things listed here. So I do think that this is potentially an interesting product. However, there is another one that is going to be launching soon that I'm much more bullish about. I don't think I can talk about it just yet, but I will bring an update soon and I'll share with you exactly what I'm talking about. Finally, let's talk about Mantle's Cook or powder farming campaign. There's this great thread here from DGen Capital. Kind of an underfollowed account on Twitter, posts a lot of great guides for the Mantle ecosystem. And this breaks down, including with some different figures, assumptions, and numbers, approximately what sort of APR you can expect depending on how you actually farm the airdrop and which DeFi app you're using to farm powder. So I'm gonna throw this down below. Obviously, the first step is you have to sign up for the METH powder farming campaign. But then once you've done that and you've gotten some METH in your wallet, there's really a ton of different options for what you can do with it. And this is definitely a useful thread to help you figure out potentially what might be the best option for you. You can choose how degen you want to be, if you want to loop and use leverage, if you want to just provide liquidity, or do some of the more simple things here. Next up, there is a new Zorb mint that is currently live on Zora. I try to pick up as many of these as I can when they're live. And also the new default mint price on Zora has been reduced to 0.000111 ETH, which works out currently to be around 30 cents. So it's a lot cheaper than it used to be now to mint NFTs on Zora. All right, next up, let's talk about LiFi. There's 2 quick updates for this. For starters, they've integrated BTC swaps using Thorchain, which is pretty bullish. So now you can actually kind of bridge or make swaps between Bitcoin and EVM chains using Jumper. And then on that, you can now actually see your Jumper rank. This right here is my demo wallet, and it's ranked 6,532. Honestly, not bad. So you can track your XP, but also you can see now how you are doing relative to all of the other different users on the platform. Speaking of bridges, the Leap wallet has created a bridge aggregator that includes a bunch of different routes for Hyperlane. So if you're trying to farm the Hyperlane airdrop, I would suggest checking this out. This is the swapfast.app Hyperlane bridge. And as you can see, there's some trending swaps here, depending on where a lot of people are going to and from, but you can also customize it, choose which chain you're going from, which chain you're trying to go to, and then select the asset. And this hits the Hyperlane airdrop. So this is a pretty solid way to aggregate Hyperlane routes, and you can actually use this to farm the airdrop. Next up, if you are still staking the Saga token, you can now claim Vault 4. I believe this claim is only going to be live for a week from August 14th. So at this point, you have about 5 days left to go and claim your tokens. Next up, let's talk a little bit more about Bitcoin, because over the past few days, there's been tons of announcements, and now all these different LRT platforms and different L2s as well are launching their own Bitcoin derivatives or liquid Bitcoin tokens on the Ethereum network. So Swell has now the SW Bitcoin token, which you can use to farm Swell, as well as Symbiotic and Carrot. Then there's also Symbiotic itself, so you can make deposits with Wrapped Bitcoin or T-Bitcoin. EtherFi has also launched a Bitcoin LRT vault. This one is interesting because you can earn points for EtherFi, for Symbiotic, and for Veda, and you can do this using different Bitcoin assets. If you are planning on farming with Bitcoin, now there's tons of different options, and I'm actually planning on making potentially next week a full tutorial video on Bitcoin DeFi, including options on how to farm using Bitcoin within the Bitcoin ecosystem, but then also using wrapped Bitcoin or liquid Bitcoin within the Ethereum ecosystem. All right, next, let's talk about the Jumper/Optimism Superfest. So if you've been following along with their different quests and you've gotten all 4 Superfest wristband NFTs, you can now mint the VIP NFT using this link here. So I'll leave that down below. Next, Mint Chain has launched season 2 of the Mint Expedition, and there's new ways that you can earn points for this airdrop. They've confirmed that 12% of the token supply is going to Mint ID stakers, Green ID holders, so those are people that have the tree, and then Mint Expedition users, which is this right here. So you can check out Explorer's Base and Hidden Oasis. There's new things that you can do to earn points. Obviously, this is going to be a long campaign. You can see all of the different coming soon things, and we'll see what ends up being longer, Mint or Tyco. Speaking of Tyco, the Week 7 badge is now available for minting. In order to get this, you'll need to do a transaction on a gaming app with Tyco. I think one of the easiest ones is to go to OX Astra and do the daily check-in on Tyco. After you do that, wait a minute or two, you should be able to mint this badge. And now they're actually showing the badge multipliers, so depending on how many you have, as well as actually having the NFTs, like the Tycoon NFTs, you can earn multipliers on your points. I've not actually been actively farming the activity portion of this because it takes a lot of time. But yeah, the more badges that you have, the better you'll do for this airdrop, for sure. The only other thing that I want to say about Tyco right now is that currently there's a little bit of an uproar in the Tyco Discord because the team is proposing extending the activity points campaign by 2 weeks, which is definitely very tiring. A lot of people in my Discord server have been grinding this airdrop. So for them to extend it by 2 weeks with basically no reason, no notice, seems a little bit unreasonable. And then the other issue is that they are potentially adding a liquidity or LP portion to round 1 of the Tyco mainnet airdrop. And the issue with this is it's going to massively dilute people that have been farming via the activity points, because if you're a whale, you could come in with, tens of thousands, 6-figure, even 7-figure, right at the end of the airdrop campaign and still get more than the people that have been actually actively grinding this for a long time. There's nothing wrong with points for LP or anything like that in general, but the issue with the way that they're potentially doing it here is by changing the rules at the last minute. So that we don't like, and you potentially still have a chance to have your voice be heard. Go in the Tyco Discord and help us advocate for a more reasonable outcome here. Next, I wanted to mention the clone protocol on Solana is deprecating. So I guess they had some struggles with adoption. The clone assets concept doesn't seem to have gotten much traction because at this point you can easily bridge between Solana and Ethereum anyways. So they are shutting down. Now this means if you've been farming clone protocol, you will need to get out of your positions if you actually have some open, so you can shut down those positions. There's going to be a blog post here that tells you exactly how to do that. There should be absolutely zero loss of funds because they still have the funds backing the people that made deposits. You just need to go and actually initiate your withdrawals. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention today is this unicorn meme coin, ticker symbol UWU. So this is an interesting new project. It's actually not super new. It's been around since I think last year, and I've personally had some tokens staked for months at this point, but they do have a clawback final claim. You may qualify if you've traded meme coins on Solana, on Base, or if you've been holding and staking the unicorn token itself and trading in their meme market. So you can check your eligibility for the clawback claim here. But the other thing that I want to mention is that if you click this, I know this is like the most overstimulating website ever, but if you click this button here, Memoji, this is where you can actually trade the different meme tokens using the unicorn token. Now, this is interesting because you basically have this free UWU token that you've received in the airdrop, and you can use it to actually trade these different memes and potentially increase your supply. This token, UWU, is liquid and tradable on Solana at this point, but not on the Cosmos ecosystem. I have the tokens on Cosmos. So at this point, if you've got it on the Cosmos ecosystem, there's no bridging enabled to Solana. You can't actually sell it for USD or SOL at this point, but you can still use it to trade. So if you do have some, I recommend checking out the platform and experimenting with it a little bit. It's kind of fun. You can speculate on which one of these memojis is going to get the most attention and move up or down the list. And the market cap of some of these things has been increasing quite a bit. So you can increase your supply of this meme token on this meme chain. And who knows, it could actually be the next big thing. Maybe it will be worth something someday. Anyways, that's pretty much it. The last thing I guess that I'll mention is that you can now actually use STT, a liquid stake TF from Stride, to deposit and farm in symbiotic finance. So this is the first Cosmos asset, as far as I know, that you can use to actually farm restaking protocols like symbiotic. So that is a new opportunity as well. So hopefully you found this alpha useful. I know this has been a super long video. I'm not posting daily updates anymore, honestly. It's just been too much, but I will continue to bring alpha when I see important things, and it's probably gonna be more like once or twice a week instead of daily at this point. But I'll also put full-length tutorials as well, including next week's tutorial on the Bitcoin ecosystem. So thanks so much for watching, and have yourself a great weekend.